Alright guys, let's have a little bit of a look at this shrine this week. So first of all, we've got a perk called Save the Best for Last. Now this is a Michael Myers perk. I believe it is unlocked at level 35. It is absolutely a fantastic perk. Why is Save the Best for Last a great perk? Well, let me explain to you. Every time you hit a survivor, most killers will have an animation to cancel, or what they're doing is wiping blood on themselves. So if we're looking at it right now, if you hit them as a trapper, for example, you wipe the blood on one side and then wipe it on the other side. This allows that cooldown time to be graced by 5%. Now, at 8 stacks, so you need to hit all these different survivors 8 times to get a maximum effect of 40%. So when you M1 somebody, a survivor gets 150% movement speed for 3 seconds. This will allow you to M1 a survivor and then wipe the blood 40% quicker and then go in for another M1. It can be very beneficial on a lot of M1 killers that don't have a form of lethal. Now, I did just mention Trapper. He doesn't have a form of lethal, but he can be really good with his trap placement. But then again, if you get something like Larry's Institute in terms of map, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Personally, I would recommend Save the Best for Last on a clown. A clown can throw a bottle at you, reducing your movement speed by 15%, putting you down from the base of moving you down from the base of 100% down to 85%. You can run the bleach as well and make it 80%, or you can just stick to what you actually have. So if you hit a survivor, they get 130% movement speed, or 150% movement speed, sorry, not 130. You get 150% movement speed. If you throw a bottle at them, then you hit them, they get 135% movement speed. So you're moving at 115% as the clown. You throw the bottle at him, you hit him. Now he gets 135%. You wipe the blood and you get a recover almost straight away. And then you throw another bottle and you M1 him again. It's just like having an instant saw or having some form of lethal or pressure on the killer or on the survivors. In this situation, if you're looking at things like playing... Somebody's coming in for a hook save with borrowed time, and you're coming back in. As a clown, if you throw the bottle at any survivor doing an action, it cancels the action. Doing a generator, doing a chest, going for a hook save, mid-animation, if you hit him with a glass bottle, he stops. If you hit near him, he doesn't stop. So you throw the bottle, you hit the survivor, you lunge in, you M1 him. He'll then do the save, you'll get the resave, you'll hit him again, and then you'll be able to hit the guy who just got BT on him as well. And then you might be able to chase the guy with BT down. Although I'm making this perk sound too good to be true, there is an obsession on a map. Now, if you hit your obsession, you lose 4 tokens. You gotta hit 4 people. At tier 2, you lose 3 tokens. At tier 1, you lose 2 tokens. Now, with your obsession, this perk has kind of got a little bit of a buff or a debuff, depending on how you look at it. If you look at it in the fact that when you M1 your obsession, you lose a stack, and then you M1 him again, you lose another 2 totems. You're now down at half, so you got a 20% cooldown reduction. And if you pick your if you pick the survivor up, the old school DS, you could have DS'd you, then hit him again. Now you've lost a lot. Alternatively now though, it has changed that you cannot be DS unless you farm the guy off the hook and then you go to hit him. Alright, so if you find out that Nia is the obsession, you can avoid Nia the whole game. Don't be too skittish with it. If Nia really wants to be hit, give her the hit. Alright, then, because she's going to be like, oh, he doesn't want to hit me, he's got Save the Best for Last, I'm going to bully him by blocking areas where he's trying to go for a chase, etc. But that comes down to split pressure, don't overcommit to chases. If you're going to tunnel a guy, you're going to probably lose the game. But if you hit a guy and you're like, okay, I'm going to change targets. Wait, Jeff just ran out into the middle of an open field near no pallets. Fuck it, I'll take Jeff out because he made a poor decision. Then you can get away with it. All in all, I think it's a great perk. It can work really well on the M1 killers. I do think it can work well on Myers, but you've got so many good options on the table for Myers. You've got Bamboozle because you already vault 10% quicker while in tier 3. You've got Monitor and Abuse because you already have a 16-meter heartbeat while in tier 3 at 115% movement speed, which is the smallest heartbeat for that movement speed in the entire game. Unless you're obviously stacking Calm add-ons on dock, but then you can obviously run Monitor and Abuse, you can run Dead Rabbit, and then be walking around on like a 6 to 8 meter heartbeat as Michael Myers, which is scary at 115% movement speed with Distortance to know where multiple people are on Jennings to then pop tier 3 and go on them. But alternatively, if you don't have all this great stuff, this can be used well on Myers. If you M1 everyone, and then on your obsession, you get play with your food stacks. It's very hard to utilize. It's kind of a bit of an RNG build. I wouldn't recommend it, though. But alternatively, though, if you're going to be running an M1 killer that doesn't have lethal or pressure, somebody like the Wraith, how I play the Wraith is generally I'll ring the bell, I'll hit him with Sloppy Butcher, I'll ring the bell again, and I'll go away. I will split pressure because it takes 32 seconds to heal, it takes 40 seconds with Sloppy Butcher. If you're using self-care, make it obviously enhance it and make it quicker, but it's just a good way to split the pressure out. If you don't like that playstyle as rough, you can quite easily go Save the Best for Last. You can quite easily go make your choice. You can do so many different options or utility, that is there. Moving on to the next perk, guys. I would recommend this perk this web. Streetwise. Okay, it's a pretty shit item. Pretty shit perk, I'm not gonna lie. It allows your items to last a little bit longer. So if ever you've been using a map, no, let's go toolbox. If you're using a toolbox and you're using instructions add-on, this is instructions add-ons, essentially. So instead of using that add-on, you could use this perk, but then again, you could use this perk and you could go wire spool with Socket Swivel for 5% faster objective work and 30 more charges alongside reduction. So you actually have 3 add-ons rather than 2. It's okay. It's not great. It's very situational. I would personally say it's a bit of a wasted perk. It's not good enough to fill your slot. You're better off with Borrowed Time to help your team if they need you, Iron Will to avoid the killer, Dead Hard to defend yourself, Adrenaline to heal yourself at the end. Like, you know, there's so many better options on the table than trying to rely on a perk that allows your items to last a little bit longer. It's not too great in my opinion. I mean, if you were stacking a toolbox with maximum charges, like a Commodious toolbox with longer charges, what's that, 107, 180 charges, then yes, you can get away with running Streetwise at its maximum benefit, but then again, still, is it really worth it? A Commodious with all those add-ons, or Socket Swivel landing your grades, so you're going to get 2, 3 Jennies done, and if you're doing more than 2, 3 Jennies, first of all, I want to say bravo, you shouldn't be doing that much. Next perk is Surveillance. Recently, Surveillance did get a little bit of a buff, chat, I'm not gonna lie. The old school Surveillance was pretty bad. The new Surveillance is kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. When you kick a generator, instead of it glowing that reddy orange color, it now glows white. When a survivor starts working on it, it goes yellow, okay? So it'll glow white until it's fully regressed to 0%. So if you don't know, it takes a generator 80 seconds to be completed, and I believe it takes 80 seconds, or just a little over 80 seconds, for it to actually go all the way down. That is providing the survivors have no enhancements, no prove thyself, nothing, no resilience, no toolboxes, no nothing to help them, right? And you have Ruin and they're landing grades, so they're getting a 0% benefit every single second. So if you kick the generator and you walk away, if there's Urban Evading Claudettes, this is a good substitute for people that don't know how to run Whispers. Now, Whispers is a 32-meter circumference around you. It comes as an unlocked perk for all killers. It's not a teachable. The good thing about Whispers, though, is for a veteran killer, you can walk in and out of the 32 meters in an arc in front of you, like move your character back and forward and pinpoint which 45-degree arc a survivor will be in. It's a harder tactic to use. It's kind of one of the old-school DBD tactics that they use. I can quite comfortably say since 2016, Whispers is a perk that has never changed. It has stayed the same for 2 years. It's been beautiful, and hopefully it continues to be such an amazing perk. I'm not gonna lie, Surveillance is a lot easier to use. You know, generator's nearly done, you kicked it with Pop Goes a Weasel, Surveillance, you're a pig, you walk around the corner, you walk out of 32 meters and you see somebody's touched it. You just go crouch, and then you just come right back in and you ambush that person, you've caught him straight away. You don't have to use it on the pig, you could use it on the nurse. I do use it on the nurse. My nurse build right now is Surveillance, Pop Goes the Weasel, Barbecue and Chili, and Distortance. I do swap it out for, you've got Infectious Fright, you've got a lot of different things. If I had 3 or more toolboxes, I'd probably put Ruin on rather than Surveillance. It just depends on what I'm versing, how comfortable I am, if they're good survivors, do they have great ping. There's so many factors that'll weigh up in terms of if I would choose to run Surveillance or not. But all in all, if you can get around the map quick, or you're smart, Surveillance can work well. There is no limit on how many Jennies you can kick at a time. Just keep in mind, the second the generator changes back color, it means if it goes to yellow or that yellowy greeny color, it means somebody's working on it. If it never went to that, if it went from white to red, that means the generator has regressed the entire way, all the way down. Alright, moving on to the next perk. So all in all, it's a decent perk. I'm not gonna lie. If I was running this, I'd want to have a lethal with me. Nurse is the only exception. If I was running this on Wraith, I'd want to have Make Your Choice. I'd want to have Save the Best for Last. Something to help me get power plays and pressure on survivors. I wouldn't really worry too much alongside running things like, you know, perks that don't help me damage survivors. What helps you damage a survivor? You got, like I said, Save the Best for Last. You've got Make Your Choice. You've got, Sloppy Butcher keeps them damaged for longer. There's a couple of things. Don't get me wrong. It's an okay perk. I'm not going to try and sell you and say it's the best perk in the game, but it can be good to hunt down that Urban Evading Claudette with Iron Will that keeps tapping the Jenny when you try and leave. Alright, moving on to Tenacity. Oh, let's talk about Tenacity. Alright, it allows you to recover and crawl 50% quicker. That's pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. The fact is, you need the killer to slug you for it to work, just like Unbreakable. Now, if you had to choose between Tenacity and Unbreakable, Unbreakable actually allows you to recover yourself 100%. It also allows you to get your recover to 99, so a survivor can just come up and tap you and get you up. I don't think Tenacity is a great perk due to the fact that a lot of killers will not slug you unless, you know, you're coming in for a hook save, and then they down you and they want to tunnel the guy off hook that you actually BT, then you might be able to crawl away. Very situational. It relies on you being altruistic. I doubt you'll ever have a really good opportunity to lie on the ground, recover, and crawl away. People stack it with No Mither and Unbreakable. It's a bit of a weird perk. It's a detective tap perk. I don't recommend it. I think it's a level 30 perk. It's not really amazing for you, but if you want to run it, it could be a little bit of fun. It would be better if it made you quiet when on the ground, but unfortunately it doesn't. It just allows you to crawl faster and recover quicker. I mean, it could be okay, but at the same time, that's you relying on getting caught and being slugged. Why not run a perk that allows you to perform better? Why not run, like, okay, if I were to say Resilience, he'll be like, oh, you gotta get hit first. Like, you can run No Mither, Resilience, Dead Hard, and Prove Thyself with a repairing toolbox, and before you know it, everyone working on that generator, you're giving up 10% benefit, so you're negating the 10% penalty for each, the 4.4 seconds faster objective work with 2 people on it, plus you're working on a toolbox. Let's just do socket swivel on a engineering box, not an engineering box. Yeah, let's say engineering box, 25% quicker, 30% quicker, plus you got resilience, 39% quicker, 10% of a generator is 8 seconds. You're looking at 8 times 4, you know, you've got quite a lot of time taking off a generator if you're taking something stupid like 32 seconds off of a generator straight away, and that's not including grade skill checks. Then you got a lot of numbers coming up. So all in all, chat, this is the shrine for the week. My recommendations are quite more killer favored right now, even though the lobbies are a little bit weird, but they're getting there, they're getting better. Save the best for last and surveillance. I would not recommend Streetwise or Tenacity, so if you're a survivor, now is not the week for you, but if you're a killer main,